Hello everyone, welcome to Ed Puzzle on Parashat Naso. Now, Parashat Naso is a continuation of Parashat Bamidbar, whereas Parashat Bamidbar spoke about the job of the tribe of Kehat. Now, Levi had three children, Gershon, Kehat, and Merari. And the job of Levi was to transport the Mishkan, and each one of the children of Levi's families had a different job of transporting. So Kehat was in last week's Parasha, and they would carry the holiest parts of the Mishkan. Now, this week's parasha starts with the responsibilities of Gershon. So the pasuk says that take a census of the family of Gershon, which means count the family. In last week's parasha we counted Kehat. Now we're going to count Gershon. Now again, like we said last week, the family of Levi is only counted from ages 30 to ages 50, not like the rest of Bnei Yisrael who's counted from ages 20 to ages 60. Levi's counted from ages 30 to ages 50. Now, part of the job of the group of Gershon was they would carry the curtains, and they would carry the ropes and a lot of those things. So that was the job of the family of Gershon. Now, the family of Merari, which is again the other son of Levi, so they would also be counted. Now, they would carry the pillars and the pegs and the sockets and the pillars of the Mishkan. Now the pasuk says they would go through the count, and the final count of all of the shevet of Levi was 8,580. So this was the count of the family of Levi. So again, just to repeat, each one of the sons of Levi's families had a different job of carrying and transporting the Mishkan, and it also counts the families of Levi. Now let's continue. After that whole subject, we then go to certain mitzvot that are in this week's parasha. So pasuk says that if someone would have tzara'at, now we learned about tzara'at, somebody who speaks lashon hara or does some other sins and they get tzara'at, some white spots on their body. So the halacha is v'shalechu min ha'machaneh. They have to be sent outside of the camp. They can no longer be in the camp of the Jewish people. They have to be sent out to be in quarantine. Now the halacha says that a tzarua, so a tzarua, someone who has tzarat, and other types of people who are tameh also have to be sent outside. Now that's that's that subject. Now there's another subject in the parasha of the sotah. Now the subject of the sotah is if a couple is married and the woman does something wrong, so the halacha is that to find out if they did something wrong, she has to go to the Bet HaMikdash, and the Kohen gives her a certain water to drink. The water has Hashem's name in it, and if she's guilty, so she dies on the spot. Now a lot of opinions say the husband also dies on the spot. That's the guilty people, whoever the guilty people are, they all die on the spot. But that's the subject of sotah. Again, a fascinating concept of where the Torah tells you that you can be able to, through the Shem of Hashem, be able to see if a person is guilty or innocent. Now after that, the pasuk talks about the person called a Nazir. Now a Nazir is someone who makes a vow, someone who says they want to be a Nazir. Now there's three rules by a Nazir. Number one is they're not allowed to drink wine. Number two is they are not allowed to cut their hair. And number three is they're not allowed to become tameh for a dead body. That means that they're not allowed to walk through a cemetery, they're not allowed to touch a dead body. And the pasuk talks about all the laws of Nazir. Now the halacha is that a Nazir is not allowed to touch a dead body. If he does, he has to start again. That's the rules of a Nazir. Now after a Nazir finishes his term, let's say of what the Gemara says, that a Nazir who says I'm going to become a Nazir has to do 30 days of a Nazir. You could do less if you specify less, but if you say I'm going to be a Nazir, you have to follow all these rules for 30 days. And after the 30 days, the halacha says that he has to bring a set of korbanot. He has to bring a sheep. He has to bring he brings a sheep for a korban olah. He then brings a goat as a korban chatat. He then brings a ram as a korban shelamim. So these are the process of a Nazir bringing korbanot. So that's so far we have the sotah, which is the woman who's accused of doing something wrong. You have the Nazir, someone who makes a vow to to be this special status of Nazir. And again, these three things that he has to take upon himself is no wine, no touching a dead body, and he's not allowed to cut his hair. Now we finally come to the special beracha of the Kohanim. Hashem tells Moshe to tell Aharon that this is how they should bless Bnei Israel. Now the beracha that the Kohanim bless Bnei Israel, but we do it every single day in Shaharit. The Kohanim get up and they face the people and they lift up their hands and they bless the people. Now the beracha of the Kohanim is Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yechuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom. That's the beracha of the Kohanim. Beracha means Yivarecha Hashem, Hashem should bless you. Rashi learns Yivarecha Hashem means with wealth. V'yishmerecha, and you should keep the wealth. Because Rashi explains a lot of times people make money and they lose the money. Hashem should bless you with money and you should be able to keep the money. Ya'er Hashem panav elecha, Hashem should find favor in you. Now the rabbis explain that means that the wall between us and Hashem should be non-existent. There should be a direct dialogue, a direct relationship within us and Hashem. Vichuneka means we should find chen. Now this word chen is beautiful. Hashem should find favor with us. Now we saw this word chen by Noach, where the pasuk says, "V'Noach matzah chen b'nei Hashem." That Noach found favor in the eyes of Hashem, and Hashem saved him from the Mabul. Now Yisa Hashem panav elecha, Hashem should show favor to us, v'yasim lecha shalom, and give us peace. Now, of course, peace is a very, very important beracha. Now, the last pasuk, which is not part of Birkat Kohanim, is that Hashem says, "V'samu et shemi al bnei Yisrael." If they put my name on bnei Yisrael, va'ani avarechem, I will bless them. Rashi gives two interpretations. What does it mean, I will bless them? Either it means I will bless the Jewish people. That when the Kohanim bless the Jewish people, Hashem will say, I agree to their beracha, and I'll also bless the Jewish people. Rashi then says, the Kohanim might think, they're giving the Jewish people the beracha. Who's blessing them? Hashem says, don't worry, I'm going to bless the Kohanim. So either Va'ani Avarechem, I will bless means I will bless the Jewish people, or I will bless the Kohanim. It could be that they're both true, that Hashem will give a beracha to the Jewish people, but Hashem will also give a beracha to the Kohanim. Now, the last part of the parasha is where there's 12 leaders of the Shevatim, and each one of them bring a korban. Now, what happens is, it's the opening day of the Mishkan, and what they do is the first 12 days, they bring a korban for the opening day of the Mishkan. Now, the first one is Naso ben Aminadav Lemate Yehuda, and it tells us his korban, korbano karat kesef ahat, which is one silver bowl. It tells us how much it's worth, a basin, which is made out of silver. It's filled with fine flour mixed with oil. Then you have a gold ladle of a certain weight filled with ketoret, and it talks about all the animals that they brought. This was the korban of Naso ben Aminadav. Now, what's unusual and what's amazing is that Bayom Hasheni was the leader of the tribe of Yisachar, and he brought the same exact korban to the T. And the rabbis explain sometimes in life where a person does something, the next person tries to outdo him and do more than them. Over here, each Shevet brought the same exact korban, and the message there was, I don't have to be better than you. If it worked for you, I'm going to do the same exact thing. And every Shevet brought the same exact korban, and that was the what's called Chanukat HaMizbeach. Chanukat HaMizbeach means the inauguration of the Mizbeach, which means to open up and start the Mizbeach was through the korbanot of the Nesi'im, 12 Nesi'im of each Shevet, and each one brought the same exact korban. So bottom line is, in Parashat Naso, we started with a continuation of Bnei Gereshon and Bnei Merari, what they carried when the Mishkan was in transit. In addition to last week's parasha, what Kehat carried. We saw the halacha that someone who has tzarat has to be sent outside of the camp of Am Yisrael. We saw the subject of Sotah, the woman who's guilty. We saw the subject of Nazir, someone who vows to be a Nazir. They have to take on these three things: not to drink wine, not to touch a dead body, and not to cut their hair. Then we spoke about Birkat Kohanim, the beautiful beracha that the Kohanim give us every day, and they have a guaranteed beracha from Hashem, that Hashem will bless the Kohanim and also bless Am Yisrael when the Kohanim give us the beracha. And then we spoke about the korbanot, starting from Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which was the opening day of the Mishkan, that each Nasi of each tribe would bring a korban, and everyone brought the same exact korban to show there was no jealousy, and they followed the same exact program for those 12 days. That's the end of our video on Parashat Naso. Thank you everyone for watching.